So what Aucspace does is we create a summary that's usually no longer, depending on the size of the legal pack, of around about 5 to 6 pages, depending on the legal pack. And what we have is we have 9 different headings. Within those headings, we have suggested actions, and those actions will allow you to go away and actually take your own steps and then come to a decision whether you feel you actually need to take legal advice, because we're not a law firm. We aren't a solicitor. We have solicitors. We hire internally everybody to do this, and we have a 3-point check system where solicitors manually go through every single legal pack, ensure that we highlight all the risks, any costs, anything that we feel is going to be something that of interest or to you. So we relay what's in the legal pack to you in a simplified manner in plain English, so you can get a very understandable reasoning of what's in that legal pack, covering everything. So that is just £79 plus VAT.
Yeah, brilliant. So you guys will showcase a couple of those reports. I think we've got lot number 10 lined up.
That's it.
And
that's it.
14.
So we've got lot 10 and lot 14. Dan, my colleague here, I'll let him kind of introduce himself, but he's someone that's got the property exposure and experience over the last 15 years. Dan, I'll let you fire away.
So obviously when we get to these 2 lots, we'll talk about them a bit more, but yeah, my background has essentially been property investment and development. Been going to auctions for a long time, and it's one of those things that you look at a legal pack, you look at several legal packs if you're looking at multiple properties, and your mind gets completely muffled. And sometimes if you want to keep on giving these to your solicitor, they're going to charge you £400, £350 upwards. If you haven't a rough understanding of what it is that you need to look out for, then looking at an Aucspace legal pack summary where everything is condensed in a simple, easy to read manner, it makes things a lot easier. And and really, we're trying to take that, as Matt just explained, we're trying to take that process out of not going to a solicitor, but having this alongside maybe instructing your solicitor as well. So that you've got a real good understanding of exactly what it is that you're bidding on.
Yeah. One thing to add to that as well is the speed. The one thing that we find is I've had so many conversations with individuals who have not managed, they've gone to a solicitor first, who have said they need a legal pack summary on this property, it's going to auction in 2 days. They've given them a lead time of maybe 2 weeks. We've turned it around for them in I think it was 3 hours on that specific occasion. So the speed and the necessity is so important here, and we understood that, and we've taken that. We've got a process which allows us to deliver quicker than anywhere in the UK. So we understand that. Just
to say, yeah, we've done the same today. We had a couple of requests come in late last night, around 1 o'clock this morning, for an auction today, and the summaries have already been turned around for those clients where the auction started, I think, at 9 o'clock this morning. Mm-hmm. No, 10 o'clock this morning.
Our hands are outstanding.
So obviously what you've got here for lot number 10 is it's a ground floor studio flat that's guiding at 150,000. It's got a long lease. The document, so the legal pack, the full legal pack itself has got around 26 documents, of around 184 pages worth of documents. After 184 pages worth of documents, our solicitors have summarized this down to 8 pages in total. And what they've provided within this, in our report, which I don't think can be shared.
Can I share that?
Yeah, you can share the screen. I think
you can share that afterwards.
Oh, I'll share it afterwards. Okay, fine.
Oh, you can share it now. As Matt explained, it's all split into different sections. So really, our legal summary suggests that there are buyer's fees with this. The seller isn't identified within the pack. So there's various suggestions and actions that here we go on this one.
Can you see this guy?
So scrolling down, there are the sections there. So the special conditions, the title, the tenancy documents, searches, protocol forms, etc., etc., etc. So this is just as a solicitor would normally do. Stop there, Matt. As a solicitor would normally do, summarise a full legal pack. Obviously, the cost that we can do this for, our solicitors do this for, is substantially less. And if you continue going down, so first section is the special conditions. Underneath this, there'll be an action point of which it will suggest various actions. So in this particular instance, you should arrange an inspection of the property and ensure that you're satisfied. A lot of people that we know sometimes buy properties without viewing them, which we think, unless you really are an expert, novices, it's a big no-no. Always going,
especially with this property, because this is not a standard type flat in a block
exactly.
of flats. It's a carved out piece of studio flat at the back of a shop, and you really want to know what is like, what this shop is like, what this area is like at night, what's at the back of this property. Is there like a garden? Is it like a yard? Is there damp in this property? Because I wouldn't be surprised if there are things like that that are affecting this property.
And also, yeah, and with that as well, there is something in, I believe, in the lease that's also been suggested by the solicitors, is that there's a rights of access to the rear of the property that needs to be considered. So that's just another thing. Who owns that? How can you get into this property aside from the front? If you want to get out of the back, how can you do so? Do you need rights of access? So that's just something else as well to consider as well here in the actions for the special conditions. The seller's identity is not known within this document anyway. So that can suggest a couple of things, but it's not always necessary that the identity of sellers needs to be known. Yeah, again, the recommendation or suggestion is to try and find out when you're buying. Scrolling down again, you've got the title documents. In this instance, they're just very briefly summarised for the most important points. Just normal things here. Check the leasehold title plan. Check if there are areas hatched, if there's any kind of important parts within the title, within the actual title itself or the plan. Keep an eye, and we'll sort of make a point of this as well, and to refer to this alongside the legal pack itself that's been issued by the vendor or solicitor. So again, what this isn't doing is it's summarising the full pack, but it's always recommended, if you want to look at this, cross-reference it with the full pack itself. So yes, carry on scrolling down. You've got the searches section, various actions here. So obtain these for any alterations made to the property. What we've realised with this is that there are works were carried out or have been carried out. I don't think any warranties were provided. So that could potentially have an impact, which has been suggested on lending. Again, speak to your lender, make sure that our solicitors suggest that, discuss, or not, at least if you are dependent on a mortgage or dependent on short-term lending, speak to your lenders first and ensure that obviously everything that's within the legal pack and obviously identified within our summary can provide or can give you options for finance. Again, you can see the transfer document and the information in there. The management pack, by scrolling down, this is always provided on a leasehold property. So this is fully summarised as well. Information in this, there's, I think, having read everything, that up-to-date buildings insurance and ground rent statements should be required. These are all points. All we're doing is summarising what is in the legal pack, and it's and what we like to, hopefully, for everyone that's watching now, looking at what's being shared. It's clean, it's concise, it's easy to read and understand. And if you are breaking it back from over nearly 200 odd pages to 8 in a simplified manner, it gives you that extra confidence and understanding when you want to bid. So we're proud of the product. By scrolling down again, this is obviously a leasehold property. There are various things within this lease that obviously, or within any lease, that need to be read and understood for kind of leasehold obligations to the landlord, any covenants that are issued by the landlord themselves as well that need to be adhered to. And really, I think fundamentally for something like this, because the property itself, what we identified is that it's a commercial, it's a property, it's a flat behind a commercial property. it might have an implication on lending, which has been picked up again from our solicitors. So lending advice on lending is for something like this, if you are looking to get a mortgage, is imperative unless you're a cash buyer. And that's really our picks for this legal pack and the legal pack summary.
Just kind of adding to that as well, in terms of the legal pack summaries, what we're trying to get is, because we spoke to so many customers, or as I said earlier, pre-bidders or whatever, people trying to do their own research, we kind of wanted to find out from their perspective what they wanted and how we could bring a product that's going to benefit them. So what we've tried to do is bring something for two people, whether it's your beginner, the newbies, or you've got investors that, you know, look at these day in, day out, try and find the middle ground with both. So what I found is, by speaking to a number of investors, you know, they've got a wealth of knowledge, and they think a lot of the time their decision is right, but there's always that element of doubt in the back of their mind, that what if. And what we're bringing to them, we think, especially with this kind of product, is just a second opinion, and a cheaper second opinion than taking it to a solicitor. So you can look at a wide spread of property.
I think that's the most important thing. Sometimes you don't need all the information. You just need to have sometimes the skeleton of information, and then you can make decisions whether to spend more money. And sometimes if you pay a solicitor £700, they will review the legal pack within an hour. It's no problem. Yeah. It's about that it's even worthwhile attempting that or not. So
there are frequent updates as well, up until the day of the auction, even sort of, you know, it could be a couple of lots before this. You know, our solicitors, as soon as there is an update that comes through, our solicitors will update the legal pack accordingly, the legal pack summary accordingly.
And put you on the spot, because this is you're a property person, you saw the legal pack. What do you think it's going to sell for?
Couldn't tell you on this one.
And you could have made yourself an easy 20 quid.
There you are. Streatham studio behind a shop. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's about 12k income, I would say, you could get from it. So might sell for 175, but it's not gonna go crazy. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
So 165, if that's the best bid we get. But I'm talking to 3 others. If any of you want to go 165 and a half, I'll take. If not, at 165 then once. 165 twice. This could be a one bid wonder. It doesn't happen often. For the third and final time, at £165,000, all done. Got it.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, 165. Yeah, it didn't get much traction. So
right.
I think the other thing as well, just touching upon what you said as well, by taking it to a solicitor and charging £700, what they might do, and we're not saying it's everybody, but we're finding that it's a similar scenario, is they might hand it to one of their juniors or one of their assistants to actually complete the summary, because they've got something that they're in the middle of, or something bulky, and obviously time is critical. So what you might be getting is not actually the experienced solicitor or someone senior to deliver these summaries. And what we're doing is we have only got in-house solicitors to be able to churn these summaries out for us, to ensure quality is paramount. That's the one thing that we won't drop standards. If we don't think it's right, we don't think it's ready, it won't be published. So quality is our number one priority throughout everything we do. That is probably the number one aspect of every summary we produce, because it's detriment to us if we make a mistake or if there's something in there that we're not happy with. So we ensure that our process is of such good quality that we think we have a better product than any other system that can deliver anyway. So I know it's a big statement, but we truly believe that we've got such a premium product. It's such good value. It's not cheap, it's good value. You know, there's a big difference with that, and that's what we want to ensure, that people understand that we're not bringing something to market that's substandard or low quality. This is a premium product that is going to appeal to the mass, and that's what we're finding at the moment. Yeah, fine, we can do that, no problem.
I think with things like your service here, for me, it all comes down to a test of reasonableness, right? what are you getting, and what is a reasonable charge for it, right? And I've looked at quite a few of these reports, and I've done legal pack reviews, not from a legal standpoint, just practicality ways on like some really very kind of difficult sales, like commercial, residential, this, that, and the other. And I've in those circumstances, I've charged a good couple of £100. It takes a good couple of hours to kind of go through all that work. So in terms of the test of reasonableness, in line with that whole quality structure you're talking about, it makes sense to me. And it's, especially when we're reviewing X amount of legal packs or X amount of properties a month, even when we shortlist it down to 5 or 10 properties, having something like that in the background just to kind of give us, a little bit of a head start on what's going on with the rest of the pack is certainly worthwhile.
Yeah. So next up is the lot 14 that we're going to review. Do you guys want to run quickly through that one as well?
Yeah, so this is a nice property. Obviously this is slightly more standard and traditional. It's going to be more appealing to buyers. Good location. That's from a property standpoint. I guess the one thing that's noted is that it's got 53 years remaining on the lease. Again, this is something that had 23 documents within the legal pack itself. 100, I believe, about 110, 120 odd pages. That once again have been summarised down to 8 by our solicitors. The main points within this property, it's a good looking property. It's nice. There are costs, but as with most,
do I share the screen for you?
I don't have to on this one.
Okay.
It's similar to the other one, but as with most auction properties, there are additional costs to this, buyer's fees just to be mindful of. And that they're sort of outlined within the special conditions. There is because it's a short lease, again, from a mortgage point of view, some lenders don't take to that. So that's also picked up within the legal pack summary itself. There's an option within this that's quite important within the legal pack summary, that a section 42 notice, which is for the extension of the lease, can be served or has to be made by the buyer for the request for the buyer to serve, for the seller to serve on the freeholder within 5 days, I believe, of the contract. So if that's not, then I don't believe they can get the assignment right to the lease extension, and then have to wait a couple of years normally. So that's something to bear in mind for anyone and that could have an implication on lending. So that's something just to bear in mind. Yeah. I believe within the contract as well, it mentions that the seller has exercised the option to tax the property as a going concern, so potentially used previously as a business. So again, that's something just also from a.
Would there be a VAT on this? Because this seems to be a flat.
Well, I mean, it's mentioned that they've exercised it as the option to tax it. So yeah, I guess so. It's something that probably needs more investigation into. Again, what the solicitors have done is summarise what's there. So it's the important thing is it's not advice.
That's the thing.
It's a summary of.
Yeah, the moment like I would see option to tax, I would be like kind of suspicious. Is it it used to be like a commercial property was converted, and is it actually now a proper residential property? Does it have planning permission, and has that planning permission been implemented? And it looks like it from the pictures, but I would want to see the documents, because that's going to be. That's going to mean that option to tax is no longer valid, because there's no VAT on residential properties. You cannot elect for VAT.
Yeah, and importantly with that as well, where any conversion to a flat would be noted would be within the searches. And interestingly, with this legal pack in particular, the searches weren't or haven't been provided. So, a buyer would probably need to put in a no search indemnity policy, indemnity insurance on something like this that's been picked up and recommended or suggested, within one of the action points. But as usual with things like something with properties like this, it's a leasehold. With small properties, it would be a leaseholder's obligation to maintain and repair the building internally. There's buildings insurance. I believe there's a provision within the lease that the landlord can only reinstate the building for fire damage, and that's it. So all the other obligations, I believe, are within for the new leaseholder. And that's really it with this. You know, as you can see here, you know, scrolling down, there's several documents. So we'll share our legal pack summary again within the chat. Matt can do that, and that will just really kind of summarize everything that's here.
Yeah.
But arguably, you know, obviously, aside from the transfer of the property with a going concern, potentially from a tax point of view, it looks like you know, it's a good property, good road. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the seller to be identified, 65. So this is a garden. No, it's a first floor flat. Okay. So I'll be interested if the space in the roof is demised in the lease, because that would be one of the ways to make money from this property, to buy it, extend the lease, and at the same time get the permission to convert the loft space from the freeholder's consent to convert the loft space into habitable space, and then go for planning permission to do that. And you can do that actually when people extend the lease. That's the best way to approach freeholder for those things, because then you always pay the freeholder's legal costs, but if you tie those things into the same transaction, then you only pay one set of legal costs, and usually it's easier to deal with. So that's definitely one thing I would want to look at. Did you say that and is extra costs to be paid?
There are some extra costs in this as well. That are
500 parts. So
some haven't been stated. So that's just I think for the auctioneer's fees as well from the seller.
Percentage 1% plus VAT. So that's something people need to be aware of. There's kind of numbers. Like described as words, basically. It's easy to miss.
All right. Lot 13 is not offered.
Okay, a lot of stuff.
This is 64A.
Okay, let's see. I'm saying 255.
I'm gonna say 2.
Again.
Oh, go on, Dan. He's thrown it in. He's thrown in that's his bid. Let's have a look.
Who's going to win the 20 quid?
Or you can convert that into a free legal pack review.
That's all later.
Okay, waiting for those bidders. And if anyone on this call decides to bid on this property after our chat, we charge a sourcing fee.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Ed.
I've been trying to get on for about an hour. I've just managed it.
Good stuff. So just for everyone's interest, Ed is very involved in auction. He's in our auction buyers club, and also Ed it kind of does similar things to what Viewer does, but on more personalized kind of manner around Bristol area, right? So you go to auction properties, you help people spot the things, and Ed's got magical talent for spotting non-standard construction properties.
God-given talent, I'll have you know.
It's like a property sixth sense. It's brilliant.
Saying that, I've got one in Swindon at the moment and I can't work it out. It's baffled me.
Is it? So yeah. That probably means it's a non-standard.
Yeah, probably.
That one you sent me, Ed?
Yeah. Can't work that one out.
No, I couldn't either, to be fair. But if you can't, then I don't think anyone would, to be fair.
Thanks for that. We have to see what it sells for.
That old, was it the old police station? That sold very well.
Oh, God, that's just literally a shed. I don't know if you watched the video. It's just
I did, yeah.
It's got no residential use or anything.
No, insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Okay, let's see. It started.
So let's see how this one sells for, and then we've got some questions in the chat that we'll answer.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. 215. Okay, I've got 4 of you at the moment. It's on Geordie's phone right now at 2:10. 2 others of you have already been calling, 1 of you is just sort of watching. If you want to come in, any of you at 2:12, I'll take it.
No, it's already slow.
If not, on Geordie's phone then,
When he started, it's already
very
slow.
first time at 2:10.
Oh, Dan's got a chance.
Second time at 2:10.
This is a steal if it goes at this.
Any of the underbidders back in for a £500 bid, let me know. If not, for the third and final time at £210,000, are we all done?
What are you doing boxes now? Later.
Last chance for anyone else? No, it was right to make sure we.
That is
Wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
That is very special. Yeah, some